I'd like to call this meeting to order, the January 4, 2023 board meeting. I'd like to start off with, we do have a quorum. And do I hear a motion to approve the December 7th board meeting?
I make a motion to approve the meeting.
I second it.
And second, okay. Lori motion, second by Shauna. Okay. Okay, well, just wanted to cover a few things. We did get the CR5 signatures already. They have been turned into the rec center, so we're good on that. Moving forward in 2023, I just want to make sure that we all kind of help the monitors in knowing what their responsibilities are. And understanding their responsibilities and making sure that they are checking people in. So far, so good. We've had monitors who have been really on the ball and said, hey, wait a minute, this person's on the list and all is going good. So the feedback that I've gotten from our new online membership has been fantastic. Had a few people that were very intimidated by going online. They came in the club and said, oh my gosh, that's easy. So that's encouraging. Thank you, Linda, for that. And your team. Okay. Let's go to inventory status. I'm going to defer that to when we have, well, actually, Deb, why don't you go ahead and speak on that before the treasurer stuff?
Okay, so on the inventory status, in my opinion, I don't think it was a top priority during the COVID years, and so to me it was not complete and whatever. So we've been working on it, and we're getting close. I have a couple of teams working today and tomorrow to try and get different inventory. I have to figure out the clarification. There's a main inventory list which is we have to have put together in case there's a fire or insurance or whatever. But then part of the financials, part of the CR7, I believe, is the stuff we have for sale. And that's where that number has to come in, and there are a couple of teams working on that right now too. So I
And
think
that being clay and tools.
the clay and
that.
the tools
Okay.
and
Wax
glazes
and
and
stuff.
that kind of stuff. And so that before I can close out the books, I have to have that number. So that's what I'm waiting for on the teams that are working on it.
Can I get a copy of your inventory list? Because that would be a good place for me to start when I try to get labels and get a list of,
Oh,
Everything
there's
I have.
nothing on office supplies on the list.
that's okay.
Okay, all right.
And I will add that Deb has been working very hard on reorganizing our inventory list, alphabetizing it, so it'll be much easier to go through. And the goal this year is to be able to assign out the leads of different departments to do their part of the inventory, rather than haphazardly grabbing different people each year. That'll just be part of the committee lead to get that inventory and get it to Deb before end of year. Okay.
So it's been going well and everyone's been more than helpful. I mean, even the monitor yesterday, she's like, can I help you? I'm like, sure.
She was very
She was
helpful.
very
What was her
helpful.
name? She was a delight. Doggone it, I can see her.
I'm so terrible with names, but yes, she was
She was wonderful.
incredible.
I want to say it was Donna, but I can't recall.
Inventory the GR forms, so she was very helpful.
So do you inventory everything as assets or?
It's just a list that you provide to the rec center, and I believe it has to do with insurance. If there would be a fire, what would have to be replaced? But the financials is different. Those are tools that we're selling and things like that. So
Okay.
it's two different lists.
Right, okay.
What about the stuff that's in, education?
Noreen's checking on that today.
You doing all that?
Yeah, I just have to figure out what to do, because we downloaded a lot of the stamps and textures, because they was just getting way out of control, and we put a bunch of them back in the closet, or in the metal closet.
Okay,
So we only have, a much smaller amount than what you told me,
okay.
not 230 or whatever it was, texture
Well, I
tools.
think that's texture tools, paintbrushes,
Oh,
I mean, I think they just put tools in that whole category, so just a guesstimate of pieces. You know, I don't think you need to say 42 paintbrushes.
Thank you.
I don't think.
Right.
You just kinda have
Yeah,
to
cause
eyeball.
a lot of that's all been donated, and,
Right,
you know, it's
donated
just- yeah.
or past its prime use time, things like that, so
Right,
just a guesstimate.
but like our kits and stuff are
Your
all
kits and
correct,
stuff,
yeah.
right.
It's
And
like
those
Deb said,
glazes and underglazes and stuff that we've got in that cabinet.
they're working on it today, Leslie and Mark.
That's the raku glazes, but
I
the
know,
under
that's-
glazes.
oh,
That's
you
only
got
run-
something else?
yeah.
No,
Yeah, we
Yeah, oh,
we
sure.
have underglazes and a few glazes in the,
I would
Heights.
definitely inventory those then.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and again, you know, those items are things, you gotta think about, they're not high dollar value, like maybe kilns and those types of things. But if we were to have to replace them in case of fire or something, it all adds up to quite a bit, so we do wanna have that incidental report.
Thank you.
Okay, is that it, Deb?
Mhm.
Okay, and, we are going to be having a committee lead meeting on the 19th. I will schedule a room today and get back to you where and what time on the 19th for all committee leads. Okay, and treasure report, Deb.
No, treasury, the statements have not been generated by the bank yet.
Perfect.
Until I get the final,
That's very,
inventory thing. I
very
can't do it.
common.
Yes, I know, very common is what
That's
I
fine, and
understand.
especially with January, waiting on our inventory.
Yeah, I'm sure it will be done before the general meeting next week.
Okay. I have made a list of committees, and if any of you can think of other committees that are not on here, please let me know. Now, Lori, I did not put, monitoring our membership on here. I guess that's been in the past, just when you do scroll down, it's included in locker. But, because that's actually a board responsibility now, rather than a committee, but you have a committee lead being Donna, so.
Yeah.
If she could please make it to that meeting on the 19th, that would be great.
And we were
19th
talking
is gonna
about
be
when
tough
she
for us.
signed up, there might have been a few too many things to check mark on on all these. Because
I'm sorry,
They
what
put
do you
in
refer
board.
to?
yeah, there
They
was
put in
board
board,
on
And
it,
they put in membership.
membership lockers.
You've got lockers on here.
No, I know.
But this is where you
Service hours.
signed up for service hours.
Do I have to
Some of
sign up
those
for
things
service
don't
hours?
need to be on that check-in. We notice.
Okay, we can go through that
Look at that,
list,
okay.
cause
When I
that's something we can
renewed-
have Linda modify if we need to
Okay.
do that.
When I renewed, it was on there.
Uh-huh.
I happened to just look through and like, I don't think I was gonna be there, and then I saw it.
Yeah.
And I thought, well, that's who I am, monitor and locker, or membership and
Yeah,
lockers.
even if she's exempt, I think it would be good for that purpose, so that it records that she's lockers.
Oh, so when I renew, that's all I need to do, but I don't have to come in daily and click on it.
Yeah, but we're just talking about service hours, it's
But if
For
confusing.
she's
service
exempt-
hours.
Yeah, she
Yeah.
does it.
Okay,
yeah.
then, no, you don't have to do that, we'll just make sure you're in as exempt.
Because I sometimes
But
come in twice a day, give in
if-
the locker.
If at some time
Check in,
that we
check out.
found that lockers needed to be, you needed some assistance, or we're gonna have to take some time off and you noted somebody else, they would have to go in and do lockers if they were assisting you with that, so I think.
We'll go look at that,
Yeah,
what
let's
we're
just-
talking about. It's more,
yeah.
it's easier to show you
Yeah. okay.
looking than to,
We can sure discuss that,
But
that's not a problem.
something on my mind, so.
Now, one other item that I did speak to, Noreen and, Norma about this morning was, I've had two different complaints, but I know one of them you guys were already aware of, where people say they weren't notified of, they were on a wait list, they weren't notified, and the wait list for the new class filled up before they got to go there.
There's,
Now,
let her clarify that, because what I told you wasn't 100% accurate.
okay, okay.
So I talked to Arlie and it's,
What we had talked about was doing for Linda's class, was doing an email to the people that signed up so that they had, the people on the wait list had 2 days and they were sent a specific link And that allowed them to sign up ahead of time before anybody else could see it for 2 days. If they don't do that, then they just go back to the general, membership. They can sign up later.
Has that happened, that email?
Yes, I got, okay, I got one, and I tried signing up, but it made me do a wait list in February then, so I had to do that. So there must have been
If the
people
class
ahead
is-
of me that
Yeah,
were
if
quicker.
it's already full, then there's
Okay.
nothing.
Nothing you can do.
Because in that particular case, there are more people on that wait list. There were like 12, I think, and she can only take 4 at a
For a
time.
time.
So, you know, that's gonna be a problem. What we had said before on, always before, was that the wait list was for that specific class. And so Linda thought that that meant that everybody would automatically be carried over, and that the first people would, on that wait list, would have the first opportunity. But there's no way to do that.
Okay.
Well, there is, but we can't confirm that that would be a good time for them. We could have Linda
Right.
copy it and get them over to the next available class and send them an email stating you are now signed up for this class.
But then they'd have to pay before they're signed up.
Right,
Right, and that would have an in
refunds,
it.
and
Yeah, there's no
refunds.
refund, so you can't do that.
Right.
Well, we could say you have 48 hours now to go in, pay and take the class, or we'll move on to the next.
Okay, but that means that somebody's got to be following all that.
I think Linda could probably do it.
Okay.
Poor Linda.
Okay.
But, okay, or whatever, maybe
I can
we
hear her
get
now.
somebody to manually do it. What I can, and thinking is that it is really unfair if these people are not getting notification. Do we have a wrong email? We've gotta get this figured out, because I would be pretty put out if I put my name on a list and on the mail, on the waiting list, and I was the next one in line, and I didn't get on the next class or at least notified.
The thing about the wait list though, it was originally made, the wait list is for people on that current class that may not be able to attend. They signed up and couldn't attend. And the wait list was to replace those people, correct? That was the first reason for the wait list.
Signed up and couldn't attend,
Okay,
so they would
So,
swap places.
so I
and-
wanted to sign up for January class, it's a wait list, so I put my name on a wait list, but somebody in the January class can't attend the January class now, so they're backing out. So the wait list people were gonna fill
Right,
any
that's right.
potential slots open in the January class.
And it was the member's responsibility to find someone to fill in and pay them.
But
No, just
the teacher
The
is
teacher
going
does.
to contact the wait list person,
Yes.
go down the line and say, hey, I have this spot open in January now, do you wanna sign up for it? If they do, she then tells them that you need to pay this person the
Right.
money, because she's already signed up and she can't get a refund, so you're gonna pay her to get to that class.
And
I
it just
think
happened
that
with
is-
Linda did that, and Sue Hooker, it took her 3 times to get to Sue Hooker, who said yes. And Sue Hooker put a check in Strange, I don't know her first name, Strange's locker yesterday. I mean, because she was called, but it took Linda 5 people for them to say yes, so 4 rejected her.
Okay.
But then we
So-
got the email then for the rest of the people that were on the January wait list to go on February. Correct.
No, they don't automatically go on February's wait list.
I had to say I would,
Yeah.
though. I had
Okay.
to
If you
say
did-
I want on there, right?
Yeah, if you
That's
sign up
right.
for it, that's fine. But part of the problem is you've got at least 8 people who can't get in that next class.
Yeah.
And there's more gonna be signing up, so how on earth are you gonna keep track of those? And some of the people who signed up later went ahead and signed up for the February class.
Okay,
We can't
so-
go back and tell them they can't be there.
Here's the thing,
Oh, that's right too.
how about putting a limit on the wait list?
Oh, isn't that a good idea?
Well, we can do that.
Wait list full.
So if you've got,
Or you could do it this way, why can't you just, on your email like it used to be, the wait list is only for potential vacancies in this current class period. After this, in February, you'll have to go back in and sign up as soon as it's posted. Cause then they know that the reason they're signing up on this wait list is only if there's a vacancy for that
so
current
we
class.
would just need to add wait list for current class only.
Right.
For
Correct.
current
And just
class
leave it at that.
vacancies only.
And
And then
they
after
can
this,
watch
you would
for
have to
another
sign, and that way, everybody has a fair shot again, and you're not,
And then if you got extra
because if
people,
you've got 15 people on a wait list, the other 300 that may wanna take this course won't ever be able to get in, because they're gonna be progressively.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
Progressively
And then they're
building up.
calling all the
Yeah.
time and
Yeah.
that creates goop.
Yeah.
I
They're
like
rolling
that.
That was,
So-
that was
So
supposed to
maybe-
have been on there originally, and I don't, Linda
Yeah, that's
did
how it used to
want to, and I don't know, I don't remember why.
Some things.
And maybe another thing for that, since it happens to be that class, maybe not post February's until the first January's is full
Well,
and
we're-
is almost complete.
We're
and then-
trying to block off those times, that's the only problem. Because
Yeah.
we need to block those dates off, cause then if somebody, because they require so many classes, if somebody ties up a day with something that they, we screw up our times.
Okay,
Right.
hold on, I wanna understand what you're saying. You're blocking off the time so that you can know that Carol is doing another class.
Well, like, for the consistent classes, beginning hand building and wheel, okay, those have 6 classes, 3 hours each, and they have to be so many days
4 days a
apart,
week.
so that you can have time to dry and time to do things.
And those never go in the computer.
Those never go in the wheel does, beginning hand building does not.
Okay.
But wheel does, but wheel's the same predicament as beginning hand building, there's 6 days, and she needs them a certain period apart.
Right.
And if we don't get those days locked into our February calendar and somebody else books something on that day, it screws Linda up, who doesn't do well with her schedule not being consistent,
Okay,
okay?
I get it.
So
Yeah.
that's why I put them up there.
right,
We
but
can then-
again, is that wheel class, excuse me, is the beginning wheel class, it should be in the computer, it is, right?
The
Or is it
February
not?
one is, yes.
Okay,
And I don't know,
I'm
do I
not
have a
putting March
one?
in
Yeah.
yet. I have it, but I'm not putting it
so
March in yet.
do we have the ability to put a class in?
Yes.
To put a class in, build it without a date, and just say coming soon. So let's say, for example, again, Carol Cummings decides she's gonna do a March class, and we can block out the dates that are in there, and so if people are scanning, we can just say coming soon, and not give them a date, not give them the ability to sign up. Is that what you're talking about, blocking out that way? Or are you just saying block it out on your calendar?
I think on our
We're talking
calendar.
about
Just
our
on the
calendars
calendar
or
on
the
here.
calendar on
The
the.
3-month calendar, I've got March's,
Yeah.
I've got March's calendar up already, cause we're,
Okay,
and Linda has a beginning wheel class, I think, in March, but it's not up on the, it's not up in the computer for
Oh,
anybody to
that's
sign in. So
Right.
people are looking at that calendar and going, oh, there's a wheel class, but there's nothing when they go in to sign up for classes,
that's fine.
it's not there. They just have to keep looking.
Yeah, and
First
I
come,
know
first
that when classes come out,
It's
that Jude has been very good about saying, these classes are coming out, and I think that's fair.
That's the only way you can really do it, and
It's no different than having the paper book,
No, it's not.
other than the fact you can do it from the convenience of your home. Now,
Yes.
If you were not here in the club when that class list got stuck into that notebook,
Except
You
you can
missed
see
out.
all the people below and you're going, do I wanna actually be number 16 on the wait list?
yeah,
I know,
They
and
just
I
put on it.
believe that should be limited to.
I do too.
Yeah, I
Limited.
think that's fine.
what do you think the limit should be, like 4?
Well, whatever the new class number is,
Yeah.
yeah, 'cause
Oh,
if you-
okay.
One for each.
because not all of the people in the class are gonna
Right,
bow out.
Right, we hope.
Probably most of them won't.
Right.
Okay,
Yeah, cause I had one girl tell me yesterday she went to sign up, and she says, well, am I expected to look at the computer every day? And I said, if you want a class, yes. And she just thought that was just outrageous,
Well,
and I
But
thought,
before, you had to come to the club every day.
Yes,
Yeah,
it
what
is.
she expected.
That's
So
way
what's the
worse.
difference? That's way more
Call her every day.
inconvenient,
let's
yes.
bring it back around.
Okay.
Okay, so we're gonna have a committee lead meeting on the 19th. I heard that was
What
conflict
time?
for you guys. It will
We don't know.
likely be in the morning.
Well, we have Sandra Larson from 10 to 3.
Okay, I'll see if we can't get it at 8:30 or 9 o'clock.
Well, by night. You know, she comes in with a whole lot of stuff, so I'll need to be with her by 9.
Can just one of you represent? Would that work?
You wanna do that?
And we
Yeah,
have to get this room.
just tell me what the time is.
Okay, it's likely 9 o'clock, but I need to make sure that we can get a room. All right, let's see, basically, I'm just looking at all of the committee personnel and the different committee jobs. If you see any that I have missed on here, I'd love to know. Did I miss something?
No, I was
Okay,
trying to count people.
okay, very good.
I just have
Thank you
know
for
how many-
assisting. Okay, so, well, I'll go ahead and go forward with the list that I've got, and then that will include, Shauna, Norma, and Lori, because they oversee those committees, and then we'll be there too. Okay, next, we're gonna go on to board reports. Shauna, do you have anything,
No updates right now.
no updates, any questions? Lots.
Well, lots, but they'll come up and I'll ask as I go.
Okay, we do need to start bringing in water and, you know.
And I'll just run
managing
to
it.
Fry's and pick some up.
Okay, eventually, we can maybe, Deb had this great idea that I like, that maybe we could go use my truck and get,
Haul a bunch of them.
yeah, haul a bunch of them and keep them in the storage room back here, so that we're not running to the store every
So
time.
how much
we're
are you
out.
thinking in the truck?
I think maybe if we got like 4 or 5 packages, what do you think?
Yeah, cause
At a
it doesn't get well, again, certain people don't submit their receipts when they purchase things. But from what I see, you know, it's not very often that we do buy water,
That's
but.
because sometimes people like to donate.
Yes, I understand. So I don't know how often a case of 24 gets replenished, but I think, you know, if you
Okay.
started with 6 and.
Probably
then
every
we
3
kinda
weeks or
yeah,
so.
Then we would keep track of it.
Some
See
are
how
probably more.
Yeah.
Yeah, some are probably more.
So is there a better place to get it? I mean, Fry's is cheap off and on, so is
Right,
Costco,
I would just,
Walmart.
Yeah.
I personally would just wait for a sale. I mean, sometimes
know.
Basha's has it
So we
for
do need it.
$2.49.
Walmart is pretty cheap too, though.
Yeah.
aren't
Fry's
they?
used to
Yeah,
have
they're
it for
pretty cheap
$1.99.
on a regular basis.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we could
So,
go over
yeah,
there and
yeah,
grab
yeah.
5 cases, load it in my truck.
Right, and then somewhere in the next few weeks, if you see one of those spectacular sales, we'll just do it, you know, do it again, even if we're not out. I
Okay,
think that,
well, I'll grab a couple just to get us by, cause we don't have any right now, right? There's no.
There's some in the
backup.
back room, but I don't know why it's not out. I thought maybe it was.
that's purchased by the social committee,
Okay, thank you.
it was left over from the
Okay.
Christmas party.
And we can't use it?
Maybe we
I
should
don't
just use it
Why
and
can't we use
recycle it. Yeah, I think
I don't know.
going forward, maybe we
It's all
will
kind
just
of the
use
same
it,
money
put it
anyway.
out, yeah, put it out. Oh, yeah, if social has their own,
They have their own budget, but
But we're
I mean,
talking a
it's
couple
$2,
bucks.
you know, I mean.
Yeah.
it's
So
not
let's use those until
Yes.
we can go take, I
Look
mean,
for a
my
sale.
car would hold
I
it too.
agree.
I have
I
an
agree.
SUV, but,
whatever you think, you know, I'm more than willing to go load up too and give you a hand, cause I know it's heavy. So,
yeah,
I can help you do it.
as long as it's not on the floor, I can lift it. If it's up high, I can.
Agreed.
Plus, you can get people to help you get
Once
it
you get
into your
here.
car.
Yeah.
And then
Right.
we can go get
So
the
guys.
rollers, yeah, or
But we
guys.
have that.
We have the
with
carts,
grocery
just bring it in
cart,
our
and we
cart
got our
here.
regular
Yeah.
Oh,
carts.
yeah, just play the, can you help me please?
Okay.
Yeah.
And then,
Okay, and, is that all, Shauna?
Yeah.
Okay, Lori, any reports today?
Our new policy from starting 2023 for members in good standing, is going actually very well. I've called a lot of people and everyone's been super nice about it. They say, I know I didn't get it in. I've been double scheduling them for the beginning of the year to get that through. We had a lot of rough spots, you know, going into it, so I did help out a lot of people adding or checking in or out, which was not very consistent at the beginning of the year. And going in 2023, I think everybody kind of has it in their mind, and I think it'll be much better, and I'm not gonna go to the extreme I did this year.
And I think that everybody knows now that this is real, I've got to make the 16
Yes.
hours, so they're paying a little more attention to the check-in,
are.
check-out.
They are, and the computer system is so much nicer now, it's not gonna, we had downfalls at the beginning. And we're not gonna have that, because we've had a whole year, and now it's, I look at it,
I think it'll make it.
Going really well.
And I
better
think
for
now you should
everyone.
put the responsibility on the members and that.
oh, yes, I will, yes, I will.
You were so sweet.
There was some reasons.
Well, the reasons are fine.
The reason I'm sweet is because I'm sweet. The reason.
All right.
Thank you, Norma.
Oh, it's getting to
No,
be too
I
much.
know. No, I think it'll go really well this year, and
It will.
Good.
They
Yeah, I've got a
understand.
real positive thought about it too. I do. Okay, anything else?
no, and Sean and I are gonna be working together with surface hours and monitoring, and
Wonderful.
Don will be helping, and
A comment on that, could we every now and then use the Facebook page to remind people to,
Oh,
before
yes.
they leave,
Check out.
to go back home, you know, their snowbirds,
Oh,
should they make sure that they, it's so easy to, but if you monitor it from home.
Except
So-
it's full.
Oh,
It's
I know,
full all the way.
but summertime, when they
Magic,
come
here
back
we
in
go.
September,
I got an answer for that.
okay, yeah.
Yesterday, Linda opened up May Susan Toast. Is that how you sell it?
Toasty, I
So-
think,
No,
but I
no,
don't know.
it's not.
It's
Toast
toast.
House.
It's toast.
Toast.
Okay,
Susan Toast and I had a conversation this morning, and we had a short one yesterday. She will be opening up the rest of the year
okay.
within the next 2 weeks. So,
because I know the with snowbirds,
Yeah.
they need to do, but
They-
I don't know what, January, February, March for sure, maybe April, maybe December parts of it or whatever,
I
they
had
could look
several.
at them.
yeah, I had several, of our seasonal people, come up and say, hey, you know, I've got these in, but it's full, and I'm gonna be back in October, I'd like to, so we're opening up the whole year, we're gonna see how that goes this year.
And I think now that everyone realizes that there is consequences to not getting your monitoring service hours, they're being a lot more diligent about getting on there and
And that's a
doing it
good
and
thing.
getting it
Yeah.
done.
We don't have to deal with it at the end of the year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And yes, do people have to cancel? Sometimes they do.
They do.
Emergencies come up and.
They do.
Okay, anything else? Norma? Here. Do you have anything for us?
Not particularly, we have,
Education.
education.
Here's your CR nines and W,
There you go.
CR eights and W
Those all go to
nines,
Lynn, I
CR
guess.
whatever,
Woo-hoo,
whatever.
woo-hoo,
that's all
we
of
got
it.
all those
You've got
in,
your copies?
except for,
Or
No.
not?
Am I
Okay.
supposed to have copies of them?
I will send you electronic copies.
Bless
Dory sends me electronic and I
That
just
would be
forward
wonderful.
them, so
And then
you'll
you
get
forward
those.
them to me too.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I can't pay
But
attention
Diana's
until
not
I
on
have
yet,
it.
right?
Yep.
Yes, she is.
Oh, you got it this
I've got
morning?
everybody in there. The
Okay.
only, there may be one rejected in
Okay.
there by the rec center. And if that does happen, that person will then have to redo it. I'm not going to
Okay,
follow these people around and
well,
Like
it
a-
may get rejected by me before it goes to the rec center,
Okay.
because.
that's fine. I just,
It's kind of
yes.
embarrassing when the rec center
Well,
comes back
and
and
that's
says.
fine, because then I can say, look, it's been
Been
brought,
rejected,
sent back
yeah.
to me, and it doesn't look like I'm the one who's griping about what they're not filling out correctly.
Yeah.
Yes.
But I just thought, you know what, I have followed too many people around, they need to take responsibility for
Yes.
doing things correctly.
And things like, and I don't remember if it wasn't Susan Larson, it was someone else, that one of our outside people, their signature is printing. But the rec center will stop me if I put one through like that, and I have to confirm that that's actually their signature.
Signature.
So make sure that they have signed and that they have printed.
So I wonder
I
what
have
we're gonna
one
do
more
when
too.
I'm not teaching cursive in schools.
No, I don't know. Well, and the printing was her signature, so they did accept it. We had
That
to
form
confirm.
is confusing, and what I'd like to do is, especially on the stuff that's the same, you know, doesn't change, I mean, obviously your education and stuff makes sense,
Yes.
but, description of job duties could be the same on every one of them, because it's the same description.
It's teaching, blah, 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 blah.
And some of them on there was kind of weird. And I thought if we could just, can we type out the description, can we type out 1 year, and can we type out how we get paid, because that's the same for every instructor.
Let me
It gets
ask
paid.
this question, Arlene. Was this document sent from the rec center, that part of it, the questionnaire part, or was that created?
No,
in-house?
that's, I believe that that's what we did.
Okay, let's look at, making that a little more simple,
Because
that part of
they
it.
have, I mean, a lot of them left out the payment part, you know, how, terms of payment, and it's like, I just wrote it in, the same thing on everything, because the terms are the same
And
for
we
every
could write it
instructor.
out and have a little checkbox,
Yeah,
yes,
well,
or
it
yes, no, and other.
You're saying the terms of payment,
Is
I
check,
think
a
the
check is,
reason-
a check is made out by the treasurer of the play club after the class is completed.
okay, I think what's confusing to people is that sometimes the fee for that particular class, if there's, especially if they're teaching more than one class,
Mhm.
you know, if Linda does one of her,
You would just
Both,
say the price of the class total and, 6 3-hour classes, whatever.
no, but what I'm getting at is that if she's teaching wheel class, that's more expensive than if she comes in and teaches a,
But we're not putting prices in there.
No, we're not.
okay, I'm just saying that that's what's confusing to people is.
It's just the method, it's the method of payment, not the amount of.
Right,
Okay.
and the
So
method
the
is
method
the
is you
check
get a check
after the class is completed.
Okay.
Now, if
by
they're
the treasurer.
asking for amount, like with
No.
Linda, they're not asking.
It's
for
not on that
method.
Okay.
Okay,
Just method.
No, and it's just, they left it all blank, because they didn't write anything, you know, it's like,
I thought there was something that says what class they're teaching and the amount for the
No.
class.
no, that's on the paper we give her for payment.
That has nothing to
Right,
do with
That's
ours.
not the rec center.
Okay,
Right.
perfect. I'll review these, I'll make sure that we've got all good
What you need.
descriptions, and keep in mind, not everybody is a contract teacher. If they aren't willing to do the W-9, if they, don't know that it's their responsibility to file taxes, they want nothing to do with that, they can teach, but they can put out a little bucket that says donation.
And I have one more for you, but I held it back because I didn't think that what she wrote was gonna pass.
Okay.
So I'm gonna talk with her.
Very good, yeah.
But-
I know I had seen one earlier on that said, do basic hand building.
There's a couple on that,
Well,
and I would
We
prefer,
can't do that.
I would prefer to be able to go to
Those
that
aren't
person and say, this did not fly higher up than me, because I don't wanna be the one
Okay,
telling them, because those
I will
forms
pick 'em
are confusing at times,
They are.
and,
okay, so we will,
Do you wanna do that with
if you
this one
guys
too?
wanna
do you wanna kick this one back too?
sure, Yep.
I mean, I just, wait, it just makes it easier on all of us, so that we don't look like we're,
yeah, kick back.
Okay.
Job done.
Work for Lynn.
That's okay, doesn't take that long. Not a big deal, but, so can we work at simplifying, cleaning up that form a little bit, so it's not quite so confusing for the teachers?
But then we have to have that approved with Sun City West?
did we have to have the
Rec
first
center.
one?
I don't know, I didn't do it.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't
where
think
it
so.
came
We
from.
have, do we have the template for that?
I honestly don't know that either.
I can look on my,
We
little
have
thumb drive.
copies that we make copies of, but I don't know.
I don't know who made the original form.
Right.
Okay, I'll ask, for education, I'll ask Dory that also. Dory, I had a question for you too, costs. Inventory, okay, perfect. Okay, anything else?
I don't have anything, we have,
You're done.
just the, we finished calling for all the January beginning hand building classes, they're all set up. Now Deb's coming back, and she'll start February, but we won't start calling February.
No, because
until-
I gotta get a replacement for Diane City, because she was
That's right,
going
she's
to
jury
teach in
duty.
February, but she's got called in
Grand jury.
federal grand jury, so
She'll be gone.
She'll be gone, so we have to get a teacher.
I'm gonna
to-
try and see if
Well,
Gianna
she can
wants
go
to
for
take.
the other
Oh,
class, we have two
wonderful.
classes scheduled.
Yeah,
Wendy
well,
can
yeah,
call for the other
Sharon,
class.
yeah, Sharon,
And
or,
this is working well. We're getting the classes.
Okay, so you're gonna call Gianna
Yes,
to replace her?
to see if she can replace Diane City.
All right,
And if not, then I'll find somebody else, but,
Okay.
I won't be here in February because I'm going back home to visit my folks, so
very good.
that could be an issue.
It's okay.
And the testing classes are taking place January 12th. She has, well, I got rid of all but one for her, because I'm
And
doing all
I
the calling for her.
had another one call this
So do
morning.
you have the people
We
already?
have the people.
Okay,
yeah.
let me know, cause I don't know if you let me know or if, Linda lets me know.
Okay, I don't have, I can. Linda should let you know that these people are in a class,
Okay.
Then we
and
need
so I'll
to
make sure she
remind
knows,
her of that.
because I was waiting for one more to come back.
When did you say, I'm sorry, January?
January 12th.
Okay,
I can't
cause
tell you.
I've missed a few test-ins, I
I
haven't
think it's
got,
noon to 3, if that makes a difference.
I have another education thing I'd like to talk about a little bit, and that's, I think Noreen and I had some conversation and Norma, and I overheard it when I was in the teacher meeting about people. We want to see all the instructors use their own flair and get the job done, but it's gotta be a similar job. And we put out to everybody, when they sign up for a new basic hand building class, that you're going to have 6 3-hour classes. This stuff of pulling them in for 3 hours to get the admin type stuff done, we don't need to be doing that anymore. I mean, most of the stuff
We don't do that.
is computerized now, and I think we need to set a standard there that it's not, just haphazardly happening because Susie likes to have that extra time. We're not gonna do that. I would like to see us maybe pull a policy together and, you all do 6 3-hour classes. Lori will, or Donna, whoever, who does the signups for you guys?
Donna usually does.
Donna does, and that's including the membership and everything that they need to do, right? Okay, so then Donna comes in, and you guys can tell them what's the best time for her to pull people out within maybe that first day that they're there, or the second, whatever works.
The very first day, when they have to do and roll their slabs out, we have one slab roller that can, one person at a time. There's
Perfect.
4 students, 3 of them are waiting around.
Right.
They can go and do their stuff
And
while
just
they're waiting
rotate
to slab
through.
roll.
How soon
Perfect.
into the class
Good
does that
question.
happen, so that she doesn't have to be there at 9 o'clock when they first get there, right?
Well, they're there at 8:30.
Okay.
I would probably, that's a hard one to say, I would probably
Give 'em
say
30
between
minutes?
9 and 9:30, peek your head in, or talk to the instructor and say, hey, when are you gonna do your slab roll, and let me know, I'll come in and we'll do that, at that time.
Okay, have you changed it then? The first time was always 3.5 hours purposely.
No, it's 3.5 hours.
And then the rest of 3.
Yeah,
Okay,
it's
just
3.5
making sure it hasn't been
hours.
changed.
And that is fine if you think you need the half hour because.
we
Yeah,
do.
yeah, because
coming
there's,
in.
there's a lot of, you're
You do.
But
getting
I-
them set up and there's
Yeah.
all new stuff, yeah, so that half an hour does help.
But I'd really rather not do the extra 3 hours. It doesn't take 3
No, we
hours
don't.
to do
We
what
don't
we
need
need
to
to
do
do.
that.
We can work it out,
The half hour is
as you
fine.
said, like kind of rotate people through. Is everybody good with that?
Yeah, I think that's the way the club
We have consensus
says
for it?
that on our paper,
Okay.
and I think if we add a class, that's gonna
Is
be,
this the only one that has the class that's starting Friday?
Okay.
'Cause I thought it was
This-
Monday.
well, it is supposed to start Monday, but when
This is
we had our
only
teachers meeting and
Okay.
she signed up to do the January class, she hasn't taught
She
in a
wanted
year and a
one.
half, and she wanted an additional, I thought just like an hour or 2, and then she ended up with a 3, and I said, what are you doing in that 3-hour class? And she was talking about the orientation, all that, but then she also said, well, I can teach them then how to use the slab roller. Well, they
So-
can't roll their
No.
slabs out on Thursday or Friday and wait till Monday. So if it's just a
Oh.
demo, maybe, but
Yeah.
that's not necessary.
Right.
You're there,
Is she starting on Friday or Monday?
she's starting on
Friday
The
is all.
3 hours is Friday.
This one on
See,
Friday.
that makes
Friday.
it 7 hours.
She's doing a 3-hour class on Friday for orientation.
No,
Okay, so,
Huh?
and are you saying the weekend's too long for them to
Yeah.
come back and continue?
Well,
because
that's
things
the
will dry
seventh
out?
They
day.
can't roll it
That's-
out.
That's, that's an extra day on Friday.
Yeah, I understand.
And so,
I was just hoping that she could maybe start her class and work it in. Let's let this one slide.
that's what I said, I mean, because I made the mistake of thinking she was only gonna come in just for the hour, because another instructor used to do that.
years
It was
ago, we
Linda or
used to do
somebody.
that, and we do it like the day before,
Yeah,
for 1 hour,
And
so
so,
it didn't interrupt the class.
That's right, we did that.
So we
Sure.
can, we
1
can
hour.
let this one slide. It's already set, the people have that
It was an hour
expectation.
before, I don't know.
If she's completed all their check-in and all their run down the list of things to do early, she can release them early. But going forward, let's keep it to the 6 3-hour classes.
I
and
told Leslie,
rotate
who's
it.
shadowing her class, on her last shadow for her instructor's thing, is that she has to get her 6 days in, her students, we're not doing a 7th day, because it's the policy of the club. So
Correct.
we will get a policy written up,
Yes,
so that it's
please.
official.
Yes.
But I don't wanna, you just can't tie up another day. I mean,
No.
there's just, we're already tying
Would you
up
need that policy
12
written?
days out of the month, you know?
Okay,
And you have told all your people now that it's credit card. Bring their credit card, it's not a check,
I have not told them.
right?
I'm
I mean, even the
thinking-
new,
I'm
it's
thinking
a
the
new
new-
question for
I'm
Norman.
thinking
Teachers, sure,
the-
I'm,
When
If-
Wendy calls, can she let them know? Cause doesn't she now say?
Yeah,
bring
that's
your
what
check?
I'm thinking.
So
Or-
let's have Wendy say,
Yeah.
please bring your credit card, we sign up online now, we'll take care of that once you get here.
I mean, that's new members also, right?
Yes.
Yes.
And that was told in the instructor meeting, because in the
Yes, it
minutes, it says credit card,
I'm
so.
just double checking to make sure.
But
and
yeah,
we
we
wanna
need,
make sure that they remember.
yeah, and we need to make sure that we let Wendy know, because she's their first contact.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she could be misinformed.
And then the instructors
accidentally.
need to, when they email their students, also reiterate the same thing.
Yes.
in the
Right,
form letter.
Exactly, that would be
So
great.
then when they come in and I take them
You'll
to
take one at a
my
time.
computer,
Mhm.
and then I have to figure out where that,
It's up there like it always is, it
Okay.
says.
We'll work on
member.
it.
oh, on the right side, it still says new member, we still do that.
And
They
then the
fill,
registration.
they fill that out,
And then
We
you take
can
them
look
over
at
to
it
the
when-
other computer
and then they
to
take
do
them over and they put their rec card and
Right.
do it just like we did every new thing,
Right.
except that it's a
it's membership.
membership
Yeah.
only, yeah. Oh, that's simple,
Yeah, it's very
and they'll be getting out in
We're
2
good?
minutes,
Yeah,
yeah,
we're good.
yeah.
It's very simple.
Great, okay,
Yeah.
perfect. And then you guys will make sure that policy gets
I'll work on it.
written, so we've got it
So
documented.
is that the teacher's, I was thinking it was the teacher's job to have the students fill that out,
Fill what out?
the new member,
They
Well,
or is that mine?
the problem I have with that is, then there's 3 other students in the classroom not doing
Okay.
anything.
This
You
is
know,
fine,
it was okay when I had the 2 shadows I had shadowing me, because then they could help. But if I'm the only instructor and I'm taking them out to that computer, just
No.
register them, I'm wasting a lot of time where they could be slab rolling their rolls
right,
out.
because Linda would bring them out and all 4 would be there.
Right, and that's a
Standing in line
waste,
waiting.
yeah, that's, see,
Yeah.
to me, that's another waste
It
of
is a waste.
precious
So I
moments.
can do that, that's perfect.
That would be wonderful, if you could do the
Yeah.
first one and then sign them up with the money, and then the instructor would then swap them out, and
And it just takes such a few minutes to
Yeah.
do that.
Yeah,
Perfect.
okay.
Okay, thank you. Great. Okay.
No, we're not finished with education, right?
Oh, you're not, okay. Bring it on, education.
She's beginning hand building, I'm the rest of it. So we've, by putting all of this stuff in January and February, we're pretty well jam-packed on the calendar.
Yeah.
And then we're talking about March as well. So I had planned on Jim Calhoun coming on in February, but there's no space for him now.
Yeah.
So I'm having to move him back. The other thing is, we need to do something about getting the TVs squared away and fixed. The teachers are really now wanting to be using those for each of their classes. And I've been putting together some pictures that we can be showing for beginning hand building classes, because people come out of there and go, okay, well, now what do we do? Because they've been told each day what to do. And so this would be giving them ideas of things that they could do, so I've
And
been,
another thing you might do is leave it to the library, because there are so many great ideas there.
that's
And
true.
We do that.
I didn't really even understand the library when I came. Did you?
No.
There was no mention of it? Nothing.
I don't remember.
So if you do that, that's
I
fantastic.
take my students on a tour the very first day, which
Fabulous.
is
Every
minimal.
teacher does, well, they should.
Then the last day, we do another tour, cause it now makes all sense to them,
right.
because all the equipment they've been using in the last
That's
6
part of
days,
the orientation.
they're now understanding it.
Right.
And then we hit the library up pretty thorough,
I
so
think
they can
that's
see.
fantastic,
Oh,
very good, very good.
Okay.
And along with what you're talking about, I hear you, Arlie, and we've gone back and forth with these TVs and we got them fixed and then they're not, and then we buy another piece to make it easy, and somebody's been monkeying around with the stuff in there, because the piece that we put on the wall, that was turned off, it was also off the wall, the little black wheel is off of it, so somebody's playing around back there.
The only thing I
Currently,
can figure is
I think we're having problems with that connection with the camera,
that we do.
'cause
That
I
we need to
would
do,
see
and we need to
it.
see about doing that cable. The other thing that I was thinking was that I can put together a bunch of photos and stuff that we can show all the time
Yeah.
when there's not a class in there,
No.
and anybody can come and see them,
Yeah.
and people could see it through the window and
Yes,
say, oh, well, this is what goes on in this place.
yeah,
And so I would love to see that kind of stuff show all the time, like the
Photo club.
the photo club has theirs going all the time.
That's cool.
That's a great idea, yeah.
Well, we're really pushing it, we get one thing for credit card, and now we're.
Hey,
They expect everything.
that's right.
3 years
Okay.
it took us.
I will, give Steve a call, I know that Ryan is no longer with him,
Right.
unfortunately, so we'll see what they can do, and I think I still have the email from Tim
Okay,
that, calls out what cables are required,
that would be great.
see if we
And if
can't
they,
break him
and
back
tell him,
in.
please, I
We
would
need
love
it.
to come, if he just tells me when, I will be here.
But we need it simplified.
Yeah, right,
That's all there is to it. It shouldn't be this hard to
right.
get the two
And we want
TVs to sync up.
the teachers to be able to use their own phones,
Mhm.
so we need to be able to hook, either iOS or,
Android.
thank you.
Other-
That word I don't use, so that any teacher can come in and say, okay, well, here's what I wanna show.
Yeah.
And not have to go through other
Yeah,
processes.
it is challenging. You can usually figure it out, but it shouldn't take that much
No.
work to figure it out.
No,
Okay, I will talk to him and, have him, definitely, he's gotta talk to you too. I'd like to be there as well.
Great.
Okay? All right, anything else, education? Anything
Thank you.
else for treasurer, Deb?
The only thing for this meeting on the 19th, I will not be there, I have, people coming in.
You won't need to be there because you don't have any committees.
Right, but what I'm saying is, do you want numbers for those committees of what they spent last year? What they should be anticipating budgeting for this year?
I
And
think so.
what committees would you like to have? I've done the best I can with the books for 2022, in straightening them out and making sure that each committee was responsible and that it got charged to the right committee, to the right, account.
For informational, yeah, I'm not ready to say this is what you get for a budget or
No,
anything like
just
that.
informational.
Informational.
As-
This is how much money you
Yeah, as
brought in
a-
last year, this is how
Yes.
much money, you spent last year.
Yeah.
Just information,
And
okay?
Yeah, that would be good,
Just to
yeah.
let
Yeah.
people know, and committee leads know too, if we were fortunate enough to make more money in that department than we spent, that doesn't mean you get all that money.
Right, yes.
Yeah, but they still have to know where
Because-
they've been.
Well,
But
yes.
that doesn't mean you don't get some.
And most
They
of
need
them
some.
really.
You'll still get a budget, but if we did that, then there would be some departments who don't generate revenue
Right.
in the way we keep books, then we get nothing.
Right.
Cause the glazing people, the
Well,
glaze,
they get revenue from the glazing sale of the stickers,
right.
but like kilns, they don't really get any revenue, but
Yeah.
they have.
So we could say, we're not gonna
tremendous
say, no
expenses.
kilns, you can't have any budget,
Right, you know, so it, yeah.
No,
because
then
you
we'll
don't bring
break
any
down.
extra money.
Right, right, so it's just an awareness.
So we gotta be careful, it's not to say you won't get a budget, you won't get money, it's just
No, I
to
know.
say that if you're
And just
doing
education is
hand building.
doing, we're trying to expand things, which
Mm-hmm.
could mean we need,
All of that
A little bit.
is gonna be taken into consideration.
But we also had money that had been, that we got more than,
It
from,
really is not, that was a fallacy, that was presented and it was inaccurate because nowhere in the budget was the clay paid for, ever. So every beginning hand building class and every extra class last year basically lost money. Because no one took into account the cost of the clay.
Right. Things are different this year,
Yeah.
you're not gonna be losing money.
You're not gonna be losing money.
It's-
We're
What
on
it
the right
was is,
track.
it was
It
misallocated.
was misallocated and it was told to you incorrectly and I apologize for that because I did not know, but once I started digging, like with the cost of the clay jumping up $3 overnight, it's because we lost money on every single bag of clay and the clay expense was never put into the beginning hand building ever.
It was like
Yeah.
5 bags of clay a check or whatever.
Yeah, are just gone.
Gone.
And so when you balance that all out, it wasn't.
Don't be
breaking-
disheartened.
Yeah, don't be disheartened.
Yeah, I know.
Because
Going forward.
because our class,
because we got
our
lunch coming up.
right, because our club will not grow without education. I mean, Lynn and I are what, 18 months in, you know, we would not know everything we know if it hadn't been for our education and the classes we took. So I, for one, feel that it's a very important aspect of running the club. And so
Oh,
it's just that $5
Somewhere.
For each
token,
class,
lure,
each
whatever
person.
it was out there, it is not a reality.
It never happened.
That part I'm not worried about losing.
Okay.
I was worried about losing that 200 that we were gonna use for, lunches and whatever, so.
I'm not aware of what that is.
I don't know what that is either.
Michelle knows the specific more than I do, but we had charged more for a class than what we actually spent. That was several months ago,
Okay.
and so that money was supposed to be set aside, and I understand that it didn't get.
Yeah.
But,
Okay.
we were
I
kinda
was-
counting on some of that for this,
covering the cost.
covering the cost of the lunches.
Okay, all right, just have her call me or send me a detail, because no one ever said anything to me or.
I'll work with you from now on,
Yes,
but yeah,
yes,
she can let
because
you know.
I don't know anything about extra money or whatever. And just a brief, money from one year is not allocated for the next year, it's not carried over.
Right.
There are budgets based on the previous year's expenditures that we can decide on, vote on, play with, okay? But there is no like secret fund, like we have a savings account at home that we put aside money. There is no putting aside from one year to the next year. It's just a yearly budget that we are all gonna try and work
Okay.
within.
I hear you,
Okay,
it's just that that's not what we were told when all of this happened, so
okay,
I'm just verifying.
okay.
You know.
Yeah, just have her talk to
Okay.
me or let me know what the deal is.
Okay.
Yeah, and please don't get disheartened,
No, there's no
because
disheartening to the,
the goal here is to keep our entire club above water and functioning and doing well and thriving. And you guys are the first entry point to doing that.
Absolutely.
So know that. And, that's the goal here.
it's just
so-
transition time from making money from pot parties and village store to not making any money. And trying to keep the membership at $30 and lockers at $10, making it affordable once
I
you
wanna
get
keep
past
that
that
affordable.
large expense
At
of
least
the
for a while,
museum
yeah.
class.
Yeah.
Well, we were trying to make sure that, that we covered all the expenses for what we charged.
Yeah.
And so, otherwise, we have to cancel a class, which is what we
Right.
did before.
Right,
And that's a really hard thing to do.
It is.
And we really didn't want to do that.
And it
we
costs
didn't
us
wanna
money when you do that,
Mhm.
you know, so there are lots of reasons why we don't want to do that.
Right, but yeah, everything will work out, and we have a handle on our expenditures now, and so things can be allocated correctly, and then communicated correctly, I guess that's what I'm trying to say. You know, I kept looking for this $5, and it's not there.
Is there a form of some kind that, and it can fit for any teacher that, you know, requires money to have a class, that is a breakdown for us, that says the teacher is expecting X amount of dollars. The supplies that are needed for this class, you know, if we're gonna do a bag of clay, that's X amount of dollars. If there are the membership for, you know, if there's a membership, it's X amount of dollars. If there's a luncheon, there's X, you know, all the different expenditures so that we could figure out what an actual cost is for, you know, credit card charges for, you know, sign up for classes, X amount of dollars. So that we can break all of this down, if not applicable, it's not applicable. And then we will know exactly what our expenditures are. If we need to add something for a cushion or whatever, you know what I'm saying? To where it could be easily done for any class that's taught for money in the club. And then you could have the record, we could have the record to know that we're giving you the correct, what the fee is gonna be, and it's gonna cover all our expenses. Does that make sense to you guys?
I think
Is that doable for you?
I think it's doable for me. The problem is so let's say you bring in this money, there's no carryover is what I'm saying.
Right, no, and I understand
So
that,
that would just be a part of your budget, so.
but it would allow us to make sure that we are covering all of
what you
our
want.
expenses,
So if you
so that we're
want a
not
luncheon-
losing money.
So if
Yeah,
you want a
yeah.
luncheon for that particular class,
We can
you
put
would
that,
say, you know, we're gonna have it on a Tuesday and buy those the spaghetti from Babel's at $5 a piece or
and
whatever.
it's gonna cost
Okay.
us $50, and then we add all of that up, divide it by the 10 students we're gonna allow, we now know what the cost per student
Sure.
is, and it covers
Sure,
everything.
I can work up like a,
A spreadsheet, or like a full
yeah,
payment
yeah,
form,
yeah,
but
payment
where
form
all
of
the
that
different
one.
options of what we would have.
sure.
Are you willing to do that, Deb?
I would
Oh,
work
sure.
with you on that if you want.
Fantastic.
But I just, to me, that would make it so much easier for any instructor
Right, yeah.
coming in, any of our
And the
instructors that
clarity.
want paid, and we would know what our expenses are and how much to charge, and we're not gonna lose money.
Right, and
Yeah, that was our
again,
big fear with
it-
setting up these classes,
Mm-hmm.
right,
was, oh my God, how would we, you know,
cover, yeah, and again, the biggest problem was no accountability for the clay for every hand building class that went on in 2020.
That wasn't in the $135 fee?
It's supposed to be
It's supposed to
included
be.
in that, but it should have been itemized.
It
Should
should
have
have
been
Gotcha.
been
itemized, it
Okay,
wasn't,
okay,
Gotcha.
it comes
Okay.
from that, yeah.
yes, so
It was.
Okay,
and there's a
so-
new policy when they take the clay
okay.
and it's
But what
better.
we're doing is correct by putting it on the sheet, that we've got
Absolutely.
5 bags of clay for beginning handling for this date.
Right.
She
and
will
my date.
account for
Yes,
that.
and
Okay.
then I'll account for
Okay.
that as
Cool.
an expense,
Okay.
okay?
Okay.
Thank
Any
you.
other questions, education? No?
So you just want me to give just a general of what each spent? So like, you know, like, the cleaning crew, they spent $226.14 or whatever.
Yes.
You just want to know that, based on each of these committees.
Yeah, I do, and then, you know, we can talk to, putting together a budget, but not,
Not
we're
yet, no, oh no,
anywhere
no,
near
oh
doing
no.
that, yeah.
Just, I think awareness is really
Yeah.
our goal.
You have
This
to
is
know
step
what
one,
you're-
let everybody know
Right,
what's
right.
going on.
I think
Before you can go
awareness.
ahead,
Right.
right,
Well-
right, of course.
Michelle and I used to try to figure all this out.
Okay, one thing I wanted to add was I had a conversation with Mary Ann Coates this morning. Because we've been kind of waiting to see what's gonna go on with clay, who's gonna deliver, and beyond that. She was able to order some more clay, we're going to get 1,500 pounds of, speckled buff, 500 pounds of B-Mix, and then she'll order more B-Mix on the next load. We are limited to 2,000 pounds still. We currently have, Deb, be aware, there's a freight company who's going to be hauling this Thursday. They
Okay,
picked up yesterday from Marjan, I'm not sure the name of the company, I don't think even Mary Ann knew. Hopefully they're going to call her before coming in tomorrow. You may want to give heads up to the monitor if they just show up at the back gate, that they're to bring the pallet in and drop it in the back area where it's covered. It can go,
You mean in the back?
I'll explain.
Okay.
Yeah, out on the patio, on the covered part of the patio, they refuse to come put it away like Dean did and all of that. Hopefully, going forward, Marjan is still trying to find a delivery person. And we will hope that that happens, they can drop them on the pallets and, you know, whatever, and we can pull them in. The freight company isn't going to be as forgiving, they're gonna come in, they're gonna back up to the gates, and they'll have it on a pallet. And right now, like, behind where the outdoor kilns are, that rack that's there, push those garbage cans out of the way and just drop it there. We need to have it under cover in case it rains. Mary Ann is gonna bring a tarp to throw over top of it. But what the monitor will need to know, if they haven't called Mary Ann ahead of time and she's not there, monitor needs to let them in, show them where to drop it.
So they'll know how to come in the
And-
front door to tell her that they're
Well,
there.
we have the sign on the back.
They can call.
Yeah.
them.
We're
Monitor call.
supposed to be calling Mary Ann, but if the monitor gets a call, she needs to do that, tell them where to drop it, and they need to call Mary Ann right away.
Okay, so should I call Andrea then and just tell her?
Oh, she'll be good, she'll understand.
For tomorrow?
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
Yeah, she's the morning monitor.
yeah, I would, because we expect it in the morning, yeah.
And if it's somebody that's not used to bringing in the freight or looking at the freight, she needs to look at the packing list and make sure that what they, especially since it's a freight company and not
Mhm.
Marjan, what they delivered is what we actually physically get.
That's why
Should
they-
she call Mary
That's
Ann
why
right
she has to
away?
call Mary Ann,
Okay,
yes,
call
right
her
away,
right
because
down.
Mary Ann will come
Yeah.
right down
Okay.
and do that.
I'll have her do
Well,
that
the time to do it
first.
is when the freight company is there, so you can send them back.
And that's
Okay.
why she has asked, the freight company to call her.
Okay.
It's just that it's the first time around, so if that slips through and doesn't happen, as soon as that monitor knows
Okay.
that that guy's there, they need to call Mary Ann, they're here now, and she'll run down. Cause she's expecting that, she's got the morning open for that, so.
Okay.
Yeah, you're right, we gotta be able to reject something if it's damaged, it's not
Right.
so bad if it's Marjan delivering, because we know they're gonna
You know
cover.
them, have a relationship, but with
Yes.
the freight company, not so much.
Exactly, so, and we're still in that pending status, not knowing if we have to continue and build on that relationship. Deb, it is more expensive, it is gonna be around $100 with the freight company. So let's hope that this is just a one-off and that we can get Marjan back, and $70 is looking pretty darn good about now. So, yeah. Okay, any questions on that? Okay, and, we've had discussion about a memorial book, and, I will put out at the meeting if there's anybody interested in managing that, to please put their hand up. Christine Deal has said, yep, you can either put it in the library, or we may put it out, they're putting some little shelf unit out there by the back window. They may even put it out there so people can come and take a look at past members, and, it will be one page allocated per person, and have their picture and a little bio, or if they, you know, whatever they want. They have to have been a Clay Club member that has passed to be in the book there,
I would think so.
yeah.
If it's ours, yes.
Yeah, I mean, you can have other pictures, you know, group picture or whatever, that's fine, you know, but, yeah. So at least we have something now that people can come back and look through and say, hey, who was this? And what have you.
Christine's been working on little plaques for the upcoming classes and for the library and for education, and I've been printing out little labels for each one of them, so she's been doing a lot. She's kinda gonna take over for Betty Cool with the window displays and
Yeah.
stuff. She's got a lot of good ideas.
Betty Cool's not gonna do that anymore.
Well, she'll
Eventually
be there
she'll
to
work
help
her way
out.
out.
She'll work her way out. She's been doing it a long time.
Also,
I know.
I'll mention that the Clay Club has the library for the month of April. Is there anybody who is willing to take the lead on that?
Oh, I'd be happy to do that.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Thank
Sure,
you.
I'm doing that. And, at some point, I'm gonna need, it's a display, so we need to just bring some of our work in there. And
Yeah.
that's maybe one thing we need to do closer to it, is ask
Yes.
who wants to donate stuff to put in.
Maybe April showers or Easter egg, I don't care, whatever you think might be a good thing to do there.
Yeah, and we
And-
just get one of the display cases, right? Cause there's two of them, there's one at the front and
I
there's one at the
believe
back.
so. Do you need the gal's name
I
for the
think it was-
contact there?
I just read that the other day, I think she said you get the front window
Front window.
this time.
Oh, yeah, I did read that.
I
You're
think
right.
so, I think
Okay.
that's what I read.
Okay, so you've got her name there then, if you've got that.
I'll just bring my frog back. He's been sitting at home for 2 years.
So we might, you might wanna think about, you know, what kind of
A
theme it's
theme,
gonna be, and let people know early, cause I know Norma built something special for it last time, so people might.
Probably gonna get it this time too. It's
Let
a
'em
frog
know.
reading the book.
There you go, that works.
Yeah.
Cute.
Do you have any other questions? You look like you got something else going on there.
Reading my mind here.
Your brain's turning, I can see
Well,
it in your
yeah.
eyes.
No, it's okay.
You good?
Yeah.
Okay. Any other questions? Anybody else have anything to add? Any comments?
I just wanna ask Noreen or Arlie, whoever, could you send me a list of your teachers, beginning handling teachers?
I have it.
You have,
I
and the
can
phone
bring it
numbers?
up.
Yeah, okay, cause I actually, I didn't know that by Sharon M, I'm like, okay, I'll find out who
You want
she
me to
was,
just
I
get-
just,
McVeigh,
Oh,
Donna,
yeah,
do you
that
want
one
me to
right
just take
there.
a picture of it?
Take a picture with your phone.
And then send it to you?
that or Lori have
It's the same thing, yeah, it's the same thing.
Yeah,
Yeah, I can just text it to you.
perfect.
Oh, yeah.
I have some of the numbers, I don't have all of
Electronics
them.
even
I
better.
don't have all of them.
Aren't our phones great?
Oh, wonderful, love it,
Yeah,
absolutely.
I want another one, cause last time some of the numbers were off. I didn't have all the phone numbers.
Needy. Oh.
Oh, would somebody
Maybe,
show her where
maybe,
the membership book is so that?
Needy.
Okay.
Sounds like you're from. Needy.
Do I have a motion to it? Oh, hold on, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, I was gonna ask you, I need a new, membership list.
Okay,
No, I
Me
don't
too.
need one
Yeah.
from you. I
Please.
don't, I have it.
Please.
so,
You got it?
I got it.
Oh, I need one too, please.
We are waiting on the visit list from the rec center. Usually they were sending them all finally to, right at the first of the month. We have not gotten
We
that yet.
haven't yet,
No,
have we?
No, I inquired with Tim this morning and Casey, so I would hope to get it today. Alrighty, do I hear a motion to adjourn?
Adjourn.
Farewell. Meeting adjourned.
Who seconded? Motion passed.
I'll second.
Second by Lori, motion
Okay.
passed.
Probably gonna